As an electrician, you bear the responsibility for ensuring the safety and legality of all electrical installations you undertake. This responsibility is paramount and supersedes the instructions of others, including engineers, if those instructions violate established codes and safety standards. If you are presented with a directive from an engineer that you believe to be illegal or unsafe, it is your duty to refuse to comply. Blindly following instructions, even from a superior, does not absolve you of liability if damage, injury, or death results from an illegal or unsafe installation. You are obligated to protect the public and ensure that all work meets the required standards. Several factors contribute to an electrician's responsibility and potential liability. Firstly, knowledge of codes and regulations. Electricians are expected to possess a thorough understanding of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and any applicable local building codes. This knowledge is crucial for identifying potentially illegal or unsafe practices. Secondly, duty of care. As a licensed professional, an electrician has a duty of care to ensure that their work does not pose a risk to the public. This includes refusing to perform tasks that could compromise safety. Thirdly, legal consequences. If an electrician knowingly performs an illegal or unsafe installation, they can be held liable for any resulting damages or injuries. This liability can extend to both civil and criminal charges. Fourthly, professional ethics. Electricians are bound by a code of ethics that requires them to prioritize safety and uphold the integrity of the profession. This includes refusing to participate in unethical or illegal activities. Here are several steps to take if an engineer provides illegal instructions. 1. Document instructions. Carefully document the instructions you receive from the engineer, including the date, time, and specific details of the request. 2. Express your concerns. Clearly and respectfully communicate your concerns to the engineer, explaining why you believe the instructions are illegal or unsafe. 3. Seek clarification. If you are unsure about the legality of the instructions, seek clarification from a supervisor, another qualified electrician, or a building inspector. 4. Refuse to comply. If you are convinced that the instructions are illegal or unsafe, refuse to comply. Clearly state your reasons for refusing and document your refusal. 5. Report the issue. Report the issue to the appropriate authorities, such as the local building inspector or electrical inspector. 6. Consult with legal counsel. If you are concerned about potential legal consequences, consult with an attorney. Here are some examples of situations where an electrician might be required to refuse an engineer's instructions. Firstly, incorrect wire sizing. An engineer might specify wire gauge that is too small for the intended current, violating NEC Table 310.15. This could lead to overheating and potentially a fire. For instance, if the engineer specifies 14 American wire gauge wire for a 20 amp circuit, the electrician should refuse, as the NEC requires 12 American wire gauge wire for a 20 amp circuit in most applications. Secondly, improper grounding. An engineer might design a grounding system that does not meet NEC requirements, potentially creating a shock hazard. For example, failing to properly ground metal enclosures or equipment. The NEC requires specific grounding methods for different types of equipment to ensure safety. Thirdly, code violations. An engineer might specify an installation method that violates local building codes. This could include using unapproved materials or failing to meet required clearances. Local amendments to the NEC can vary, and the electrician is responsible for knowing and adhering to these local regulations. Fourthly, overloading circuits. An engineer might design a circuit that is overloaded, exceeding the ampacity of the wire ring and potentially causing a fire. The NEC dictates the maximum load allowed on a circuit based on the wire gauge and overcurrent protection. Fifthly, unsafe locations. An engineer might specify the installation of electrical equipment in a hazardous location without proper protection. Hazardous locations, such as areas with flammable materials, require explosion-proof equipment. Remember that your safety and the safety of others should always be your top priority. Do not hesitate to refuse instructions that you believe are illegal or unsafe. Consulting with a supervisor, another qualified electrician, or a building inspector can provide valuable guidance in such situations. You must also remember that electrical codes are not static. They are regularly updated to reflect new technologies, safety concerns, and best practices. It is your responsibility to stay current with the latest code changes and ensure that your work complies with the most recent requirements. This may involve attending continuing education courses, reading industry publications, and participating in professional organizations. Documentation is another crucial aspect of your responsibility. Keep accurate records of all work performed, including the materials used, the methods employed, and any deviations from the original design. This documentation can be invaluable in the event of a dispute or investigation. In addition to technical expertise and code compliance, ethical conduct is also essential. Always act with integrity and honesty in your dealings with clients, contractors, and other professionals. Avoid conflicts of interest and disclose any potential problems or issues that may arise during a project. You might be faced with pressure to cut corners or compromise safety in order to save time or money. Resist this pressure and always prioritize safety and quality over expediency. The long-term consequences of a faulty or illegal installation can be far more costly than any short-term savings. Moreover, cultivating good communication skills will benefit you and your team. Clearly communicate with the engineer any concerns that you may have, and be willing to explain your reasoning in a clear and concise manner. Effective communication can often resolve misunderstandings and prevent potential problems. Additionally, never be afraid to ask questions. If you are unsure about any aspect of a project, seek clarification from the engineer, a supervisor, or another qualified professional. It is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions that could lead to errors or safety violations. Remember that you are a vital member of the construction team, and your expertise and judgment are essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems. By upholding your responsibility to refuse illegal instructions, you are protecting yourself, your colleagues, and the public from potential harm. It's important to understand the legal framework surrounding electrical work. Electrical codes and regulations are established to protect public safety and prevent property damage. Violations of these codes can result in fines, penalties, and even criminal charges. As an electrician, you are expected to be familiar with the applicable laws and regulations and to comply with them at all times. When faced with a situation where you believe an engineer's instructions are illegal or unsafe, it's important to act decisively and responsibly. Here is a step-by-step guide to help you navigate such situations. Step 1. Assess the situation. Carefully evaluate the engineer's instructions and determine whether they violate any electrical codes, safety standards, or best practices. If you are unsure, consult with a supervisor, another qualified electrician, or a building inspector. Step 2. Document your concerns. Write down the specific instructions you received from the engineer, along with your reasons for believing they are illegal or unsafe. This documentation will be crucial if you need to defend your actions later. Step 3. Communicate with the engineer. Express your concerns to the engineer in a respectful and professional manner. Explain why you believe the instructions are problematic and suggest alternative solutions. Step 4. Seek a second opinion. If the engineer refuses to change their instructions, seek a second opinion from a supervisor, another qualified electrician, or a building inspector. Their input can help you determine the best course of action. Step 5. Refuse to comply. If you are convinced that the engineer's instructions are illegal or unsafe, refuse to comply. Clearly state your reasons for refusing and document your refusal in writing. Step 6. Report the issue. Report the issue to the appropriate authorities, such as the local building inspector or electrical inspector. They can investigate the situation and take appropriate action. Step 7. Consult with legal counsel. If you are concerned about potential legal consequences, consult with an attorney. They can advise you on your rights and obligations and help you protect your interests. It's also important to understand the concept of professional liability insurance. This type of insurance can protect you from financial losses in the event of a lawsuit alleging negligence or errors in your work. Consider obtaining professional liability insurance to safeguard your assets and protect your reputation. Remember that your reputation as an electrician is one of your most valuable assets. By consistently upholding your responsibility to refuse illegal instructions and prioritize safety, you can build a reputation for integrity and professionalism that will serve you well throughout your career. The NEC, published by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, is the cornerstone of electrical safety in the United States. It provides comprehensive guidelines for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. Familiarize yourself with the NEC and stay up to date on the latest revisions. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect new technologies and safety concerns. In addition to the NEC, local building codes and regulations may also apply to your work. These codes can vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, so it's important to be aware of the specific requirements in your area. Contact your local building department or electrical inspector for more information. As an electrician, you have a responsibility to protect the public from the hazards of electricity. This responsibility extends beyond simply following instructions. It requires you to exercise your professional judgment and refuse to comply with instructions that you believe are illegal or unsafe. By upholding this responsibility, you are not only protecting yourself from legal liability, but also contributing to the safety and well-being of your community.